Some people walk through life surrounded by friends, laughter, and constant company. Others walk alone, not because they want to, but because somehow they just never found a place to belong. Why does that happen? Why do some people struggle to make or keep friends even when they're kind, caring, or good-hearted? Let's talk about it. For many, it begins without them noticing. Life gets busy. People move away. Work, stress, or family take over. And slowly, texts stop coming. Invitations fade. One day they look around and realize it's been weeks, maybe months, since someone reached out just to ask how they're doing. Loneliness doesn't always start loud. It creeps in quietly, through silence, distance, and time. There are people who feel everything intensely, who notice the small shifts in tone, the unspoken words, the tiny rejections others might ignore. They think deeply, love deeply, and sometimes that makes the world feel too sharp. They question themselves constantly. Did I say something wrong? Am I too much? Do they really like me, or are they just being polite? Over time, that self-doubt becomes a wall. And even though they crave connection, they start to pull back before others can pull away first. Friendship is built on understanding, but what happens when you feel like no one really gets you? Some people are simply different. Their interests, their thoughts, their way of seeing the world, they don't fit the usual pattern. So conversations feel forced, group settings feel draining, and pretending to fit in becomes exhausting. Eventually they stop trying, not because they don't care, but because they're tired of being misunderstood. Sometimes loneliness isn't about who we are, it's about time. The friends you had in school, they moved, they married, they changed, and so did you. Friendship requires effort, but not everyone keeps making that effort as life goes on. So, while some circles grow, others fade, and those who don't replace lost friendships end up feeling invisible. There are people who once had close friends, until betrayal taught them not to trust again. Maybe they opened up, and someone used their secrets against them. Maybe they were left behind when they needed someone most. And after that, something inside them quietly decided, it's safer not to get close. So they keep their hearts guarded and their lives quiet. Not because they don't care, but because they've learned that closeness can hurt. Some people are natural givers. They listen, comfort, and show up for everyone else. But few ever show up for them. And eventually, they get tired. Tired of being the strong one, tired of caring without being cared for. So, they withdraw. Not out of bitterness, but exhaustion. Because it's hard to keep pouring from an empty cup. For some, loneliness feels safer than trying. They tell themselves, it's fine, I'm used to being alone. But deep down, they wish someone would see through that act. The truth is, rejection leaves scars. And after enough of them, you stop reaching out. You convince yourself that being alone is your choice, when in reality, it's protection. But here's something we often forget. Not everyone who's alone is lonely. Some people find peace in solitude. They recharge in quiet spaces, find joy in small routines, and feel connected through creativity, not crowds. Their circle might be small, but it's real. And to them, that's enough. Having no friends doesn't mean someone is broken. It doesn't mean they're unlovable, or antisocial, or cold. It often means they feel deeply. They think deeply. And they haven't yet found the people who speak the same emotional language. Friendship isn't about how many people you know. It's about how deeply you're understood. And for some, the wait for that kind of understanding just takes a little longer.